And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Orla McKeown. Now, Orla, happy birthday.
Thank you. April Fool.
April the 1st. Okay, so now this is funny because actually on April the 1st, that was the day we all flew to America as well. And we did have a lot of friends going, oh, it's an April Fool's, you're not really going. I said, we are. We really are. Now, Orla, when we met properly in Spain just recently, as in because it was very intense training, wasn't it? Because you are now a bunny talk trainer. Okay, so I first of all met you in Ireland and then on some other trainings. And now I would say we're friends. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do think so.
Well, when you do a training like that and it's so intense and it's like it was just really bonding.
Yeah, it was.
You shared with me that you are a little monkey when it comes to doing April Fool's tricks. So what are some of the funniest ones you've ever done on people?
Well, I tend to pick on my kids a lot. And I think because my kids would trust me, and I do remember one stands out in my mind, and it probably wasn't it wasn't my finest moment really as a mom, but it was a brilliant April Fool's prank. So I had, it was a really, really dark day. It was lashing rain, and I happened to go down the town, and I was parked outside the local police station. And when I got back in the car, I went, oh my God, I'm going to prank the kids. I'm going to tell them I've been arrested. So I rang my youngest son. He answered the phone, and I started to sound like I was panicking. And I was there going, I need help. I've been arrested. And he went, what do you mean you've been arrested? And I said, I'm in the guards station. I've been arrested. They said I stole a chicken, but I didn't steal a chicken. I don't know how it got up my jumper. And I said, and then it fell into my bag, and it's just all confusing. And it went on. And I said, I need my passport. And he was like, oh, where's your passport? And I said, I don't know. I'll ring you back in a minute. Get your brother. So he got his brother anyway. And I rang him back because I had started to laugh. So because I could hear the panic. So his brother got on the phone and he believed me as well. And I said, get my passport quick. It's in the writing bureau. And the two of them went. They were like, I have it, Mom. I have it. So I said, quick, come down. It's about a 10-minute walk. So they were walking down in the rain. It was lashing rain. It was a real stormy day. And while I was waiting for them to come down, I rang my mum. And I said the same to my mum. I said, Mum, I'm after being arrested. I don't know what to do. I can't ring Reuben, who's my husband. I said, I can't ring him. He'll kill me. And she went, what happened? And I said, they said I stole a chicken. I didn't really steal the chicken. And she just said, well, if you're in the police station, I suggest that you just say it was menopause and just enjoy the time away from the children. See you, bye. So she knew straight away. So then I rang my husband and I just said, I'm playing a prank on the kids. And he was like, oh, no, what are you doing? And I told him, and he was not impressed. And he said, it's a storm. You're making them walk down in the storm. And I went, yeah, but that's the funny thing. I'll jump out of the car as soon as they get to the door. And he said, I don't think you should be doing that. That's really cruel. And then I got off the phone and I started to think, oh, why did I do that? But it was too late because I could see the two little heads coming around the corner. So I waited till they went up the steps and then I got out of the car and I just went, April Fool! And they weren't impressed. They got into the car and were roaring their eyes out. They got such a fright. So I think if I've ever caused a trauma for my kids, it was April Fool's Day.
Yeah. With a stolen chicken up your jumper.
Yeah. And then it fell in my bag.
Yeah. Do they laugh about it now, though?
Yeah, they do. But this kind of tongue in cheek. They will laugh a little bit, but they'll kind of go, Mom, that was cruel. That was the cruelest you ever did.
Yeah. And anybody watching, they weren't little children. They were teenagers. They were like 14.
Yeah. They were, I think they were 13 and 14.
Yeah. They weren't like they weren't little people.
Yeah, they were safe.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know. But but I mean, apparently there's this whole lovely saying, and I do love it. Comedy is tragedy with time. So there you go. It might not have been your finest moment, but it is kind of like when you look back, it's like, oh my goodness, that was quite funny as a prank. I am sure there are many other people who have played pranks on people. jokes, and they kind of went a bit wrong. You won't be the only one, Orla.
I know. I know. Actually, there's a few that are springing to mind as well that went wrong, and ones that had done in work that probably I shouldn't have done, but I thought were funny. And
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to laugh.
there you go. That's your quirk, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I know you've been using the bunny talk for a while, and it's like, and I know you've said it's made such a difference to the way you work with your clients.
Yeah.
And so tell me more about that. What do you like most? I mean, I know you've already mentioned it's about the parents, so you can bring that.
I think for me, working with it, I've become more structured with working with the parent first. So a lot of the time before I started to use Bunny Talk, I was seeing the parent and the child together. And then you're nearly trying to have covert conversations because you don't want to be talking about certain things in front of the child. So I always found that a little bit awkward. Whereas now I work with the parent. It's normally the mother. And sometimes a few dads, but it's generally the mom. And the aha moments it's just so lovely to see the transformation where they can because they're there to help their child. Yeah. And as soon as I start to work with them and they're kind of like, oh, I can really use this on myself. Oh, I really need this too. And they start to realize maybe stuff that's from their childhood and maybe little habits that they're passing on and still using with their children. So there is loads of little aha moments. And then when they come together with their child, if they're working with me and the child, it's lovely to see that bond and that connection, and they're creating something like a little language that they have together, especially when they're doing the bunnies and and like even today I had a lovely little girl, and she now has a new language with her mom. So rather than her behavior kind of escalating into complete panic, she straight away will go to her mom. I need the, and sometimes, and the mom just knows, okay, she needs to regulate. We'll go off and we'll do it together. And so they have a little tool bag. Went away with a little tool bag, and it was really, really lovely to watch.
So I'm really enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as you say, the mothers or the parents, whoever it is, they can actually come in with you and have the techniques and strategies to work with their child, especially because I know you see a lot of really young ones, below 10. And it's and again, what's so wonderful is that you've already told me as well that she's now passed your name on to some other people and some other people, and that is how this works, is that because the transformation is relatively quick, isn't it? It works really effectively and really efficiently. And
sorry, Claudia, this lady traveled about 4 hours, and that was also a referral from somebody else who had traveled maybe 6 months ago, the same distance. And what I did was I got her accommodation locally, and she came over last night. I had done a bit of a session with her online, just with the mom, and kind of we had started a rapport. The two of them arrived last night, and we worked with the mom, and I got the little girl to act as my assistant. So it started a great rapport with her as well, because she felt very in control. And then today they came over for a back-to-back session. So she's had 3 sessions, and she was a very different child leaving. So it was the first time I've done that so intensely, and it was lovely that at the end, the work was proved at the end when she was blowing up a balloon, and the balloon burst, and she got she got a horrendous fright. We all got a fright, and straight away I could see the emotion was beginning to rise, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing! Quick! We know what to do now. And we got the bunnies out, and you could just see her face change. And she was like, I'm safe, I'm safe.
So that's what she had anchored in.
Yeah, that was
and that's just 3 sessions where you work with the mum first, and then it's like with 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what we want people to understand, that actually it is very efficient.
Yeah.
Because people come to us, they are generally ready for change. They've tried lots of other things. And sometimes, I most definitely do work alongside of the therapists and psychologists. I'm part of the team. However, it does move things on so much quicker.
Yeah.
And it's all through play.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
that's shadow puppets, which becomes an anchor.
Yeah.
Show me some of your toys.
Well, there's my nice little bunny.
Okay.
So this is when we take the poo. I have loads of poo, but when we take the poo off the brain, this little girl, I had asked her, I said, what are we going to put on it? And I just kind of picked up the bunny, and I was kind of like going, it could be ice cream. And she was like, oh yeah, I love ice cream. And I went, or it could be candy floss. It's like candy floss because it's sticky like poo. We don't want the ice cream to melt away. We want the candy floss to stick on it. So she was absolutely delighted with that. She thought it was brilliant. Another little thing that she did was, when we use the ruler as a scale?
Yes.
She happened to have a whiteboard marker in her hand. So I got her to mark. She started with 10. And every time then we had done the eye movement, I handed her the ruler back and a baby wipe. And so she wiped it off and she marked it again. So and she was then kind of very proactive in it, which was amazing. It was brilliant just to watch that. And then, of course, I did go out to the charity shop today because I do have my big poo. But I just got loads of little farm safari animals and loads of little speedy cars for the.
Yeah. And people may be wondering what on earth we're doing with these toys. The thing is, though, is that we check the work within the bunny talk process, and telling a story with these toys is exactly what it does, or it can ignite another feeling inside somebody. We never know what's going to happen. And that's when we use our intuition with it. However, it is really interesting how it can bring about the smiles, and they go, oh yeah, no, it's all good, because, and they can group various things together. I mean, it's like, as I say, I've got loads of, things. I mean, I've even found a little duck with bunny ears on. And it's like, I've got this the other day. So again, that's to include everybody. Because this we can see children who just aren't sure, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's all about bringing people together with their story as they see it, with touching and placing these objects, because it could be anything that you have, and because they're making up their own metaphor from it. And when people make up their own metaphor, then they are doing the change work themselves. And it is massive change work, because they are owning it. And then again, they can change it on the paper, or as you say, on the ruler. I love that she did that herself. That she had because that's what it's about. And we have to be flexible with each client, because although some of it is structured, because we never know what our clients are going to come with. It's always been that way, hasn't it? With any kind of work that we do with somebody.
Yeah. Another thing I find interesting is their choice of words. When you ask them, where that feeling is, and they can kind of say, even if they don't know what the feeling actually is, and they're going, oh, it's here. And like, I had a little girl there recently who was very defined about the feeling. And she just kept saying, I don't know what it is. It's hard. It's hard. And I said, just draw it. Just draw it. And straight away, she picked up 4 colors together, but very carefully picked them up. So she was really putting a lot of thought into it. And she colored it all together. So, and she just went, it's hard. And because it was 3 different colors, and she said, and it's confused. And she said, I'm confused.
There you go.
So from just being that kinesthetic on the paper, she then identified what she was feeling.
Brilliant work.
It was lovely. Brilliant. It was lovely. It really was lovely to watch. I was kind of at one stage thinking, how am I going to get her to explain what that feeling actually is if she doesn't have the vocabulary? But she actually did in there somewhere.
Yeah. And because you had the various colors, she could.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I mean, well done. I mean,
Yeah.
that is so exciting.
It is.
I'm like going, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today, and it's good for us as well,
Yeah.
because it is playful and we are moving about, and it's not easy, but it is, because it's their work, and all we do is guide them to get it out. Like you said, you kept repeating, it's hard.
Yeah.
What is that like? So we get curious. You're just using her word. Brilliant.
Yeah. And the great thing about it is it actually allows us as adults to reconnect in with that inner child in ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Like as you know, I'm not a very tall person, so I always wear heels. And as soon as the kids walk in the door, I'm kind of like, okay, let's get your shoes off. If you want to take your shoes off, take your shoes off. And look, I'm taking mine off. And I've actually, for the first time, I suppose, in years, I'm really comfortable walking around with no heels on. And it's lovely. Freedom. It's total freedom. And kids love it, And I suppose maybe it was something that I was holding on to, being self-conscious about being short. And now it's just like we're sitting on the floor, we're socks off if we want or whatever, and they just love it.
Yeah, they do. Mine do, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're on the floor," and she's like, legs across, or they're under me, or I'm like, where did I put that? And it's like, oh, I'm sitting on it, and it's like, because that's what we do when we're playing games.
Yeah.
It's like, where's that go? And it's like, oh, what is she doing? Because it's all pattern interrupts.
Yeah.
Well, and it's and then it is focused on what they're doing, yet it's all through some kind of safe place, because it's not strict and stern.
Exactly. There's no white coats.
That's right. And actually, for once, I'm wearing black. I don't often wear black, but I've got my little pretty bits on. So yeah, because again, we always, generally when we're working with children, we wear bright colours.
Yeah.
To engage them into this is going to be more fun than it's like, I can't help but think that, but maybe that's because I'm very visual and kinesthetic. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they also have a connection with bright colors to clowns and circuses, and and colors and coloring and drawing, and so straight away they're seeing something familiar.
Yeah. That's what I think, Orla. Okay, so moving forward, Orla, we're going to be putting your website, your landing page that you've had created for training and being a practitioner. That will be in the links below. For anybody who wants to see Orla in person in Ireland, and then you're also going to be sometime in Spain as well.
Yeah. And of course online.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody wants to work with Orla online, with the Bunny Talk process, and with Orla, because I know you do other things as well. And so yeah, and I know you're going to be training it as well, because that's what you just learned with me. So no doubt you'll set some dates and get those up, and so that's really exciting. So yeah, I'm thrilled to have you as a trainer for the Bunny Talk, because as we've been saying all along, the Bunny Talk process is its own thing, and it's I just happened to come across it through with my daughter, and then it just became its own thing. The bunnytalkprocess.com, everybody, and you will be able to find Orla on there as a practitioner and as a trainer. So it's honestly, because I know you are brilliant, and I'm honestly, I'm thrilled that we got to spend all that time together and make that bond. It was just really special. So thank you, Orla.
I loved it.
Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody, and it's goodbye from me, Claudia Ricard, and it's goodbye from Orla. All right, and happy birthday again. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye now. Bye, everybody.